All right, welcome to week 11. We're very close to the end now. We're doing bug fixing and we're doing polishing. So for the picture this week, we've got these beautiful polished stones. This is how our project is going to look. This is how all of our projects are going to look by the end of this week. They're going to be nice and shiny, or not so shiny as well. They don't have to be perfect. It's very, very important to remember. So just to recap, last week we finished our store page and we uploaded our game to Steam. We uploaded the game build using the GUI. We went through or are currently going through the Steam approval process, so it takes them time to review the store page and the game build. So, you might still be going through that. If you are, that's okay. And we had some friends and family or, somebody we trust playtest our game and give us feedback. Ideally, we played it with somebody else and, we fixed some bugs or whatever. But basically, by this point, we want to be aware of all the bugs that we need to fix. And then by the end of this week, we're going to fix them all. We're going to fix every last one of them. Or we're going to try to anyway. It's impossible to get them all, but we'll do our best. So by the end of this week, we want to make sure that our Steam page is live so that we can enter that 2-week grace period before we publish. Like I said previously, it takes 2 weeks for Steam. Your game needs to be public for 2 weeks before you can actually hit the launch button. So you want to get that live as soon as possible. And then while that's live and those 2 weeks are passing, we're going to be fixing all the bugs. So this is, while we're bug fixing, actually, this is a good time to get screenshots, footage, and to post stuff for our development log. It's a great time to get content because you're wrapping up the game. So, you can get a bunch of different assets and things that you can then share to social media or whatever you want to do. So that's it, basically. All you're going to be doing this week is just fixing bugs. Everything else is sort of taken care of. Your priority is to just fix every bug in your game. So take all the feedback that you got from all of your playtests, from everybody who's played it. Maybe you've played it a bunch of times as well. People in the server might have played it. So take all of that. Pick the ones that you want to address. Maybe some of them can just be left as features, because not every thing needs to be absolutely realistic and perfect. Games are still games and they can feel like games, and that's fine. Focus on the things that are important, the things that interfere with the experience, because you don't want to release a game where it's still got things in it that somebody could do something weird in the game and then get trapped and then have to delete their save to play the game properly. That's something that's happened with one of my games before. It's a pain in the ass when shit like that happens. And so you want to focus on that stuff first. Focus on the things that make your game functional, so that somebody can play through it and get an experience out of it. Nothing that's going to break the game. That's our goal at the end of this week, is to have no bugs in it that are going to break the game and to be absolutely certain that there's nothing left. So you want to be able to test it thoroughly. And yeah, so when you release it, it's you don't have any second thoughts or second doubts, which is what I've talked about here. You want to resolve that this week, not next week. Bug fixing is this week. Next week is for launching. So just remember, your game is launching live to Steam at the end of next week, so just keep that in mind. And you could use this time to promote it if you wanted. But basically at the end of this week, so this last point here, this is at the end of the week, once you've fixed all the bugs in your game, you want to send the build to somebody you trust and get them to do one final test where they can play through it and check that everything has been fixed. So if you have a person, for me, I have a younger brother who does this, I like to send him one final build once I've tried to fix all of those things, and then in his own time he'll play through that and just make sure that he's satisfied and he's tested everything, and that nothing is left hanging, and that fixing any of those bugs hasn't caused any other issues, because sometimes this happens. Sometimes you got to fix these bugs and then it creates new issues that you're not aware of, and then you release a game which is actually broken. There's one example of that in, I think it was one of the Mega Man games, where they had 100 levels and you couldn't actually get past level 39. Where I guess they fixed some shit at the last minute and then they released a game which actually had most of the content unplayable because of some fundamental thing that broke the game. So that's something to do for your own peace of mind. You want to do one final test. You could do this yourself if you wanted to, or I think it is better to get somebody else to do it because they've got a different perspective on the game as you, but maybe also do it yourself. And then after that test, that's like the cutoff point. It's like you don't make any changes after that. You can do updates in the future if you wanted. You can continue to update your game after it's been released and put patch notes and things like that. But for your release, you want to know beyond a shadow of a doubt that it's fixed and it's playable and it's presentable and it's exactly the way that you want it. Because the worst thing is to be fixing things last minute before the release date and then to be paranoid about having to test it again and to make sure that nothing else is broken. So that's something to keep in mind. That's the end of week 11. Good luck with your bug fixing, and I'll see you next week for the publishing.